3 days ago, Saenchai was in Vancouver, just around the corner from where I live, teaching a seminar. I didn't make it over, but I went, oh, Saenchai doing a seminar. That's interesting. Why is it interesting? Why is that any different than what's normally happening? Well, on November 4th, he is going to be fighting in BKFL. He's going to be doing a bare knuckle Muay Thai match against Buakaw. November 4th. We're just getting into September. And something that popped into my mind was what happened to Nong O. He was supposed to fight Haggerty, and I saw something saying, oh, Nong O's in Vancouver. And I was going, isn't he fighting soon? I looked up, I'm like, yeah, he's fighting in 6 weeks. And he was over in Canada doing a seminar. What happened to him? He got knocked out by Haggerty. That's not to take anything away from Jonathan Haggerty. He did a fantastic job. But I was a little concerned when I saw that because I know, being a professional fighter, lack of focus can lead to losses. Major lack of focus can lead to KOs. Fortunately, I've never lacked a lot of focus, but sometimes small amounts. And I notice it in my fight. So returning to Saenchai versus Buakaw, you might go, oh, okay, Saenchai just wrapped up his seminars. He actually did a tour across Canada, did a number of them over the last couple of weeks, as I understand. You might be going, okay, September is just around the corner, or actually right now. September is now, for the day I release this video. And now he has all of September and October to prep up for the November 4th card. But you're wrong, because I just looked up, and on the Buakaw website, it says he is doing seminars through the States for the whole month of September, which means he's going to get back home early October. He's going to have 1 month to prep up for Buakaw. Now, we're going to be talking about how I see this fight playing out if Saenchai is properly prepared, if he is completely ready and has been taking this fight seriously. But how can you do that when you're on tour teaching seminars? Even if you're only doing 3 or 4 seminars per week, that's 3 or 4 days, and you're going, okay, you know what? He's only putting in 4 hours of teaching per day. By the time he signs autographs, takes pictures, teaches, you still have to look. Professional fighters don't do seminars in fight camp for a reason. It draws away from your ability to put everything into training camp. Now, yes, Saenchai has probably accomplished everything that he's wanted to in the fight world. Muay Thai GOAT, everybody calls him. When I was talking recently, and I was, to Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, they're actually going to give me a lot of access to everything leading up to this fight. I was talking to one of the guys there, and he was saying, look it, we offered these 2 guys, Saenchai and Buakaw, an easier fight, an exhibition fight, just so that we could have both of them on this card, because people heard we were going to Thailand, they heard we signed both fighters, and they went, you have to make this fight. So Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship went to these Muay Thai legends and said, guys, exhibition. They said, no, no. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this for real. And it's going to be a real fight. Now, there are some rules which have been adapted according to Saenchai's wishes to make the fight a little bit more favorable towards him, because straight up against Buakaw is scary. We're going to talk about that in a future episode. But my question to you guys is, how do you think Saenchai is going to be 100% ready to face Buakaw when he's on a seminar tour through August in Canada and then September in the United States? Is 1 month enough to prep? And yes, you still might be doing pad work, but I can guarantee you it's not the type of training that he would be getting if he's back home and really, really focused. So now let's move on and let's talk about if these 2 fighters were at their peak. Because I don't know what Buakaw is doing right now. I'm assuming, like he usually does, he's just training hard, getting ready for this because he probably really wants the win. If he can get it and beat Saenchai, there's a good argument after that he's the better fighter, even though there's that weight class disparity. But how do I see this fight? Both guys being 100% and matching their skills. Who is stronger in what areas? First off, let's talk about boxing, because they are going to be fighting without gloves, and that means that shots landed can create so much more damage cut-wise, and even actually impact-wise, if they're throwing as hard as they normally do. Who do we give the edge to in boxing? Well, I go Saenchai. He doesn't hit as hard as Buakaw, but he is slicker. He can evade, he can throw back. His shots are a little bit more crisp. Buakaw has a tendency to really launch through. He throws really hard, but not as crisp, not as clean. And overall, I just think the boxing skills of Saenchai are a little bit more dangerous, even though he doesn't hit as hard. If I was going to box one of these two guys and we took away the weight advantage, I definitely would pick Buakaw because his skills are not as high as Saenchai's. Next, we move into who has the better kicks. Well, Saenchai is very good at doing those sort of things and coming in and changing angles. He's very good at it. But when we come down to damage and controlling fights with round kicks and front kicks and manhandling people with knees, you got to go with Buakaw. He has shown throughout his career that his kicks are his strength. They are devastating. He can wreck people with them. No doubt Saenchai is good at this, but he's not as scary as Buakaw. Next, we move into the clinch, which is something, little spoiler alert, that Saenchai had the rules altered on a little bit. Minimal clinch. Not able to hold because I think he knows that Buakaw is going to rag doll him. He is just that much bigger. Not saying he's that much better in the clinch, I'm just saying he's that much bigger. We have seen Buakaw throughout the years toss people around all over the place, and that is under kickboxing rules. But Saenchai is a genius when it comes to sweeping people, catching, tripping them, all of that. But I still don't think in the clinch he holds a candle to Buakaw because of that strength disparity. So if we start falling to here, Saenchai will not want to be in there. That is why he's asked for minimal clinch. Once we fall there, kind of kickboxing rules, 1, 2, move on. That's how I understand that is playing out. Elbows, they're both slick with their elbows. They're both mean with their elbows. What do we look at? What do we look at? What do we look at after that? Durability? Who is the more durable fighter? Saenchai has been through more fights than Buakaw. Big record in terms of volume. Who has fought more battles? Who has proven that they are a warrior in the ring that can take punishment? Buakaw. And now he's fighting somebody who is smaller than him. He's already shown at 155 pounds, 154 pounds, 70 kilos, that he can stand with the best guys in the world. They can hit him and he will not go down. Saenchai is evasive. And when he does get hit, he doesn't usually drop, but it's mostly because he's evasive. Now he has somebody bigger and stronger against him. Battle-wise, I think it's going to be very hard for Saenchai to put Buakaw away. I don't know about the other direction because we've never really seen Saenchai take massive shots and see what happens when he drops. He hits the floor just because, again, he's usually so evasive. But overall, this is a very interesting fight. If you ask me who do I think is going to win, I would say probably Buakaw. Just based off rule set, which we'll get into in a future episode, based off the fact that he's going to be training hopefully a lot harder. Saenchai is not going to be going... He just can't be going that hard when you're teaching seminars for a month. And just overall, I just think it favors Buakaw. I really do. Now, part of that in my mind is me looking at Saenchai throughout the years and going, I would fight this guy. Send me the contract, not for $2,000, because that's what I got offered years ago. Buakaw, they said, oh, Gabriel, you want to fight Saenchai? We'll give you $2,000. I said, please. You want me to fight this guy for less money than I got fighting one of my last fights, and he's the GOAT of Muay Thai? Send me a real offer. Somebody sends me a real offer, I will fight Saenchai. Give me 10 weeks, anytime, I will be there. I don't care if it's Muay Thai rules or kickboxing rules. Not necessarily because I'm going, oh, I can go in and smoke this guy. Kickboxing rules, I do feel I will win. Muay Thai rules, ooh, that's a hard darn fight. And he has, even in my mind, the edge. I will come, I will give it my all, but he's gonna be really hard to beat. But somebody comes to me and they offer me to fight Buakaw, I'm going to be going, you need to write me such a massive check. It's got to be so big to get me in there with this guy. So I look at Buakaw, I go, oh my gosh, the danger, the size. I look at Saenchai, I go, the skill level, the danger. No. I fought Lerdsila. He was hard. He was tricky. I know Saenchai is better than Lerdsila, but I beat Lerdsila, and I believe I could beat Saenchai. Do I believe I could beat Buakaw? Ugh. I don't know about that. So that's basically how I decide who of these two fighters is going to win. Now, like I said, Saenchai not training as hard as he possibly can for this fight, I believe is super foolish. I hope we see him 100%, and I hope that Buakaw is training like he really wants this fight and he wants to steal that GOAT status off Saenchai. So those are my thoughts, guys. We saw it with Nongo. He was doing seminars in Canada. He got knocked out against Haggerty. Will we see sort of history repeat itself with these Muay Thai fighters who are probably getting very good money to do seminars, but maybe stray away from their training camp and the intensity required for these fights? Let's call it there. I will have more episodes, footage of these guys training courtesy of BKFL coming up in the future weeks, months, and we're just gonna get so excited for this fight, and I'm gonna have some exclusive footage for you of these guys getting ready for this Muay Thai super bout. I guess it's not really Muay Thai 100%, let's call it Muay Thai special rules bout. That should be good enough. Okay guys, I will see you back here for another video very soon. Until then, continue to train super hard.